Hello everyone. All right, I thought that I would talk to you guys about the books that I read so far, since it is a booktube channel. So actually I should probably pull up the list. So the first one I read, but I haven't really talked about, is The Cutting Season by Attica Locke. Basically, I love everything by Attica Locke, but The Cutting Season was like super good and probably my favorite of hers yet. Basically, she is a mystery writer and she's really good. So the Cutting Season takes place in the United States at a former plantation that has now been kind of turned into like a wedding venue and a historic site and stuff like that. And that sounds really weird, but that's like legit what we do in the United States. We get married at places like that. So maybe not okay, but it's like not like fiction in that way. Like that still happens. Anyway, basically there's this lady that's kind of in charge of like the whole venue, and she will do like a lap around every single day just to kind of check on things. And she discovers a body, or she hears that someone else has discovered a body. So yeah, basically it's a launch into what happened and who killed this woman. So super good. Lots of people that you think are acting shady, and then you're like, oh, actually I need to be looking in this other direction. So super good. The next one was The Stars Within You. So that one is on astrology, which I have been getting into more. I used to think astrology was just like what month you were born in or whatever. So I'm a Taurus. But I have learned it's so much more than that. It's so much more beautiful, and there's just so many more nuances, I feel like, with what you actually are, and like how all the planets and stuff were arranged on the day you were born, at the very minute you were born. I think it's super interesting, and so I've been learning more through that book about my birth chart and all sorts of stuff like that. It basically kind of walks you through your entire birth chart, so it's really good for beginners. And yeah, it's really interesting. It kind of led me to develop like a morning affirmation that I'm going to say every day that kind of addresses the different parts that I found out based on reading that book and different things that I want to focus on. And then the final book that I haven't talked about yet, I finished in the coffee shop today, and it is called Erosion, Essays of Undoing by Terry Tempest Williams. This one is on Book Outlet. However, you could also go to an independent bookstore and get it, which is where I got it. I don't really know how to describe this book because it's basically a whole bunch of essays, and sometimes it's not even an essay, sometimes it's an interview or a poem, but it's just like a nonfiction book, I guess, that kind of talks about like all these different topics that kind of intertwine and make us into who we are. It talks about the environment, it talks about government, it talks about current events, like loads and loads of things that are super important to reflect on. And it's just very like quiet and meditative, and there are just so many quotes in here. Like I could not have gotten this from the library because I needed to write all over it. So just starting, I didn't mark these, so I'm not going to go over all the quotes, but just starting from the beginning where the author is talking about why she wrote this. Basically, she said, if the world is torn to pieces, I want to see what story I can find in fragmentation. And that's basically what she goes through in the entire book, just talking about community, how we can't take anything for granted anymore. She just says some beautiful things. Like I remember one of the parts I read in the coffee shop was talking about how in nature we feel like this, I don't remember her words, but like this quiet stillness, like we feel like so small sometimes, but yet we're also in this like huge community, like with other living creatures besides just humans. And it's just so beautiful to think about how interconnected everything is and how we are not alone at all. So yeah, if you're into kind of like quiet, meditative nature writing, political stuff, This is really, really good. Oh, this is a good quote too. Each of us finds our identity within the communities we call home. Anyway, that's that. So I just thought I would throw in some bookish content. Since I am a booktuber, I will quickly show you what I'm about to start in a hot second. I'm gonna start this book. I have not started it at all yet. It is called Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson. I'm hoping it's good. It's a trilogy, and yeah, I think it's science fiction. I mean, I suppose, since it's about Mars, and I rarely read science fiction, so I think it'll be something fun to start tonight. I'm gonna edit this video and then get going on that. I hope you guys have an amazing day.